All right, let's do it. And 5, 4, 3, 2. What up, y'all? Welcome to Instinct. I'm Kim on that shit.
That chick ain't dead.
Welcome to another podcast episode. Smash that like button. Smash that notification bell. Bangers, bangers, bangers. All put it high. Welcome to the bonus. Like we said, we're going to talk about the things that y'all put in the docket. The number one topic that we talked about that was requested on this was Tabitha Brown and the boycott of Target. Let me state my disclaimers now. I am Tabitha Brown biased. Mm-hmm. I am friend biased. Mm-hmm. I am big creator biased. Uh-huh. These all come into play in this conversation.
Bag biased?
I'm entrepreneur biased as well. I am big dream biased. I've not yet achieved a product in a national store yet. Yeah. Nor is it a dream, but it's something I'd go for.
Yeah, you'd be all right with.
I would try. So let's back up and see, how did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. First timer. Hood Rat to Harvard. You're not a first timer, are you? Are you Hood Rat to Harvard from TikTok?
Well, welcome.
I was about to.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Jay Fridge. Your book is in Target. It's still up in there.
Oh snap!
It's still in there too.
I also got like 12 copies. I never got them signed. So if you guys ever have time,
I ended up giving them out as a gift to some Mocha Moms at a meeting in January. They loved it.
My book is in Target.
New York Times
bestseller. That's what I want. I want a copy that has that as the.
I know. I asked them to reprint. They said, "Man, shut the hell up."
They said no.
They literally were like, "Man." And
well, give me the sticker.
They pushed my email down. Just send me some stickers so I can do it at the house. I didn't see who read to Harvard's comments. Oh, there it is. Hold on. She said, "Hey, Kev." Oh, welcome. All right, welcome. So anyway, what happened was Trump's
federal
administration has put out a federal mandate through executive order that companies either
no, only federal.
Oh, you're right.
Federal only.
Federal
agencies
would need to roll back
their DEI
initiatives, right? Now, here's where it's a little dicey. You guys help me if I don't understand. From what I understand, there's some government contracts that you will not be eligible for government contracts if you don't comply with this as well. So there was some people were like Target's connected through government contracts. I don't know what government contracts Target has or does not have. But Target is a privately owned company. So companies like, off the top of my head, Target, Meta,
in which Meta includes Instagram, Facebook, Threads,
Google, Amazon, and some others were like, we're rolling back our DEI stuff immediately. Target seemed to draw
Amazon, McDonald's, Ford, John Deere, Harley Davidson.
Now, John Deere and Harley Davidson.
I mean,
this was very surprising.
That they had DEI
I said, Harley Davidson, what DEI did y'all have?
Because they probably got a little grant for it.
Maybe. I mean, no jokes. I said, Harley Davidson, y'all had DEI anything?
Yes.
And I know black folks ride Harleys.
It was the diversity in men clean shaven and men having long beards. They said we're going to have diversity in facial hair because even men without beards ride Harleys.
Man. Oh, and okay, Daniel makes a good point. They hire vets. So a lot of people think DEI means you don't hire a white person who's qualified and you hire a black person who's unqualified. That's what white people think. Same thing that happened with affirmative action.
Well, Kev, they're taking the jobs, man.
They took our job.
All of them.
And the thing is, before we even get to Tab, let's just explain why affirmative action and DEI was necessary. And if you can read it in the comments, there has been not only an assumption, almost rule of thumb, that the default best employee for the job, regardless of the job, the higher paying it is, the more likely this is true, is a straight white man.
Anglo-Saxon.
That is the default. The reason affirmative action existed, which was DEI's predecessor, and DEI, diversity,
equity and inclusion.
Because they said, hey, hey, other people are actually qualified, but if you only look for white men and hire white men, it's kind of unfair to everybody else that y'all don't even give them a chance. So what DEI meant is you actively recruit. You go out of your way. You make it a point to open it up to other applicants, right? You are inclusive of Black people, Hispanic people, veterans, even
in schools.
Schools too. The number one winner of affirmative action and DEI has always been
Wahite
white
women.
They win the most.
They need help, Kev.
They need help. This is a comment that drives me insane. What they just need to do is get back to merit-based hiring. It has never been.
Matter.
If they just did that, we would not need this.
Correct.
If they just did it based on merit, we wouldn't have this problem. Because by and large, Black women and Asian men and women are super educated.
We gonna get them degrees.
They gonna go get them degrees.
Certifications.
Angel's sitting on a podcast with 3 degrees,
and
2 of which are masters.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
You are correct.
Double
2
up.
masters. Okay? On a podcast. I want people to think about their best bosses, the people they thought were the smartest, most well-equipped in their own personal life. How often has that been a white man? Because it ain't been in my life. Yeah. More often than not, it's been a woman. It's been a white woman or Black woman. It's been an Asian woman. I haven't had that many bosses, if any, where he was a man, a white man. I said, man, this guy knows what is going on. Right? I did have one at Boeing. That man, I'm going to say his name. I want to put him out there.
No, man, air him out.
But just kidding. He wasn't my boss, though. But that man knew plane scheduling inside. I think he wrote the program.
He took the same class as you in college?
That dude, no.
What?
He didn't even go to college. It's a crazy thing. That man went from high school and worked his way up at Boeing. Dang. Right? And if he didn't write the program, they built it off of his knowledge. Right? But that man lived and breathed Boeing airplanes. And he worked hard. He was the only person at Boeing that I can say I saw with my own eyes who even worked for real. Everybody else just milked the system.
The white men that I know that I've worked, I'll say with more than 4, that I'm like, oh, their competence level is high. It's all been inside of the industry. And a lot of them they were grandfathered in. Their father did the job that they are now doing. So they just seen it all of their life.
And Hollywood is probably need DEI more than anybody because that doggone nepotism, I've said this a million times, I'm going to keep saying, nepotism is the most dangerous tism in Hollywood, well before racism.
Does not need DEI, it needs DIE. It needs to die and then rebirth itself.
That people gonna get the white people are the ones who decide who hires, and they look and listen, I can say this with my own eyes, what I've seen, they don't even do this out of malice. They hit people the same way I said, Angel, we're doing this Patreon. Do you know any other actresses or actors that you think will be good? She said, I do. Off the top of my head,
boom, boom,
Quinn, Denora, and Candace Renee. They can do probably anything you need to do. I hired them in 2020 and have continued to hire them. Candace Renee was Keith's. First of all, she was my acting coach when I took a couple acting classes from her. I hired her. Keith said he needed an acting coach. He wanted an acting coach for Churchy.
That's why she was on set.
Yes. And I hired Candace Renee.
Perfect.
Because she's the acting coach that I knew. And if she wasn't available, I was going to call Denora. And if she wasn't available, I would have called Angel, who doesn't even practice as an acting coach, but she could have coached Keith. And if Angel wasn't available, she would have recommended another acting coach who is likely a Black person.
Yeah, Black
right? So white people in Hollywood are doing the same thing.
Correct.
And look at the Cowboys. Jerry Jones on the Cowboys.
There's so many Joneses on that damn
Nobody
board.
ever asked if Stephen Jones, I don't know his daughter's name, Charlotte maybe? Just throwing names out there.
Sarah, let's say.
Sarah. Nobody ever asked if Stephen Jones or Sarah Jones are the most qualified for that job. Because who cares? Jerry said, that's your job. That's your job. And when Jerry go on to be with him, one of them two going to take over. And when their sons are of age, that business ain't never coming out of the Jones family.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
And it shouldn't. But okay, so let's to get back on topic. So during the George Floyd movement, where America was having a reckoning, and we were like, okay, now what do y'all just don't like us?
I call this I'm sorry black people money time.
Yes. So this is when so many companies were like, but we're not like that. And to prove it to you, welcome blacks. So a lot of DEI initiatives, that's even like the term DEI becoming now this coin thing that everybody talks about. If you go back to 2018, you weren't really hearing it like that. It became something that everybody started talking about in around 2020. Corporations, schools, there were businesses everywhere deciding to hire someone who would be their chief DEI officer.
Yes.
Whose sole focus was, don't make us look like we hate the niggas. That was their sole purpose.
Because remember them C-suite pictures was going viral.
Yeah.
And they was all white people on them.
Yeah.
And they said, we put the black square up, but the blacks are demanding more out of us actually than the square on the day.
We need more. So for a lot of companies, yes, it was completely performative because it was just like, oh shit, everybody's upset now. We got to do something. It's not just the blacks. Everybody's mad about how minorities are being treated. So you had all these positions created. It was looking like, oh, okay, y'all really trying to put money in our pockets. Y'all really trying to collaborate with us. You begin to see, specifically with Target, you begin to see a lot more collaborations with business owners of color.
Because George Floyd died in Minnesota. Target's headquarters is in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Right in their backyard, they said, we got to do something.
So Target had their whole rollout of their Black History Month merch, which I love, get every year. They partner with Melissa Butler of the Lip Bar, of course, our good friend Tabitha Brown, and all the collaborations.
Kalani Barlow, I believe.
My soror, Kalani Barlow? Is it Barlow?
Kalani something.
It's Kalani and then a Kalani. Is it? Yeah, Kalani and then a B. They did her fashion line. There are so many different black Fee Noel. They did a collaboration with her. So many different black designers, Latina designers.
Alana Barfield. We was in the neighborhood.
I was like Barlow. I don't
we was at the wrong house.
LOW.
Kalana Barfield.
And I have bought from every single line that I have just mentioned.
The dough,
at
Unique
Target.
Jones Gibson had culture tags in there.
So Message in a Bottle is usually in there. Message in a Bottle.
I didn't know they was
there.
in Target.
Oh yeah, I've bought so many of their shirts from Target.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, because one thing about me, you put somebody who black and made it, I'm about to spend my money.
And they was putting those niggas at the front.
And I was over there filling up my cart. I'm talking about every February, I would spend close to $600 in Target just on black things that they put out there by black folk.
Yep.
So after the executive order was signed, I want to say not even 24 hours after, there was an article saying that Target would be getting rid of their DEI initiative. Now, obviously, this has caused an uproar for a lot of folk because a lot of people, not just black people, but a lot of people, Target is it's a mega store that a lot of people spend their money at. It's very hard to not spend money at Target because they're kind of a one-stop shop.
Yep.
So it was upsetting, not because one, you're just like, well, God dang it, I've been patronizing you all this time. Two, because it's just like, well, why y'all do that? Why y'all are not a federal agency. So this mandate has nothing to do with you all. So then it comes to people who still have merchandise there, like our good friend Tab. And
everybody you mentioned.
And everybody else. There's a lot of folks.
There's a lot of businesses. Is it the Doe? I didn't know about them until this time. The Doe, Eugene, Eunice, Jones Gibson has her games in there. Lip Bar, still in there off the top of my head.
There's a lot. And a lot of black hair. I would be here for a little bit of time trying to name all the black brands that I have purchased at Target. So
Ghetto Gastro was in Target.
There are a lot of people.
Honey Pot.
Honey Pot, definitely. Who are calling for a boycott of Target. And I completely can understand it. And I understand why that's not a bad idea.
Yes.
However,
9, 8,